Interesting. Can you please send me the Twitch link? I was just doing something with my computer. I lost all my links that I had saved here. Sorry. What, is there a problem or? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. In Meet or in? So can you send it to Facebook? Let's do it that way. Okay. Okay, I got it. Mm-hmm. What have I missed? Ah, the okay. And yeah, okay, I see it now. Sorry. Yeah, I see everything. Everything's good. Yeah, I see everything. Everything's good. I can see the map.
I see everything. Everything's good.
It's okay. You
can see the
you
map.
hear me?
Everything's good.
You
It's okay.
probably
You can see the map.
don't hear me.
Yeah, I hear you. Just
Okay, you're just not reacting. You just decided not to react.
I just had a muted microphone.
You're just not reacting. You just decided not to react.
I
Good.
had a muted microphone.
You just
Okay,
decided
so
not to.
I had a muted microphone. Okay, so one more time. Say one word, please.
I can see the map.
Okay, so one more time. Say one word, please.
I can see the map. It's okay, or what's the problem?
I'm just testing the audio just
Okay.
to be sure that we both of us are heard.
Uh-huh.
And that I would
Well, I don't have to be heard that much, you know.
No,
I don't
but,
usually say a lot.
to be sure that the audio is recorded.
Okay,
But
okay.
everything is working so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can see the map. Can you see the text?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Yeah, all right. So the last time we ended up here in this period, Huniari just successfully defended Belgrade from the Muslims, and Mehmet returned back and never tried to capture Belgrade ever again. Huniari basically became the hero of the Christian war, just like Charles Martel after the Battle of Tours when he stopped the Muslims in France. All right. So the story continued, and later what happened in year 1481, Mehmed died.
Oh, okay.
He was already old, so he was in the proper age. But when he died,
It's
so
no shame, he died.
yeah, no shame, no shame. Kind of Christians celebrated.
Oh.
But when he died, so in this shape, he left the Ottoman state.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Basically, okay. So maybe he didn't get to fake. He didn't get Belgrade, but he captured. But he captured all of this. You can
Everything else.
Yeah, basically because you can see it. Because okay, maybe he didn't get Belgrade, but he got Constantinople, Serbia, Moria, Trebizond, Wallachia, Bosnia, Albania, and almost Italy.
So it looks like he got really pissed off after not being able to
No,
get in
no,
Belgrade.
he was doing what was the what was what he meant to do, just conquer more and more land in name of Islam, because that was his purpose of life,
Sure, I see.
to spread to spread the teaching of Islam all over the world.
Okay, so he was quite successful,
Exactly, exactly.
actually, except for Italy, which is a little bit,
He got
you
there.
know.
He captured a small land, because when he figured out that he can't capture Belgrade, when he can defeat Hungary, which kind of was where's the better map, which kind of was like a gateway to further Europe. So if this is closed, so he figured out that he can try it this way across Italy. Yeah.
So he just wanted to get around it
Exactly around.
and sacrifice that little part around Belgrade.
Just
And
flank them like a typical flanking maneuver.
okay.
When there is no way, I will make one. Yeah.
Yeah, quite logical.
But he died in either
Just a little problem, but he died.
yeah, but he died in 1481 because he
Okay.
was already old. But still, he is today considered for one of the greatest sultans of the Ottoman history. That's why he called conqueror or Caesar of Rome.
Yeah.
So this was Belgrade in 1456. No, this is not Belgrade. This is Belgrade in 1456.
Yeah.
And I will.
No, this is yeah. Okay, now I see it.
Not necessary. Okay. And I will. So remember this picture, or I could. Never mind. Never mind. So this is in 1456, and now we move a couple of years later. Years later, because here we were the last time. Here we were the last time. And today we will move a couple years later to here, 1529. Okay?
1529, yes,
We
Siege of
were
Vienna.
in 1456, and now we
Yeah,
skip
yeah,
skip
yeah, yeah.
over or we skip into Renaissance to the early modern period, and we got exactly to got into the year.
The first Siege of Vienna.
Yeah, but we'll start a bit before, because we need to set the context. We'll start in the year 1521, 8 years before the siege of Vienna, and I will establish you the whole context.
Yeah.
In this year 1521, the Hungarians had the city, and suddenly what they saw on the horizon, Ottomans were back. They returned.
What?
Yeah, they returned. They returned. A new
New wave.
yeah,
New generation.
two new army arrived.
Okay.
Exactly 100,000 Ottomans came to the walls of the city again.
100,000. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
and they also arrived by the sea. And here too, they surrounded the city as they before. But not only on the land. They surrounded it, the city on the sea. And then they start. The massive shelling started on the city from all sides, because Ottoman just left the cannons, and they started to bombard the whole city. The defenders couldn't do anything. The cannons broke through the walls. They made the gaps. And what happened there? The 100,000 army swerved into the fortress, and this
Well,
wasn't.
so easy, you know.
Sorry?
So easy that guy could have thought of it, and
Because in this case there were only 700 defenders.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
Against 100,000.
in
Yeah.
spite of the fact that Hunyadi made it with 12,000 against I don't know how many men had Mehmet. 6,000, 30,000. I don't know, maybe 1,002. But in this case, the fortress didn't help them, and they swerved into the city and they captured it. And so basically, in the year 1521, the Belgrade fell. The mighty fortress, which symbolized the whole Europe, fell to the Muslims. And who did this? Because Belgrade was sieged for the third time in this year. The first two attempts were made by Murad II, and then by Mehmed II. And they didn't make it, but this guy made it. And who was it? This new sultan who captured what his two predecessors didn't make. It was called Suleiman the First. And I will explain you why, and it will be today the main character of this story. But before we continue, I will take you a little bit back to establish his character properly. So we have to return a little bit at the beginning of the whole Ottoman history. So we are in this picture. You can see.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just say something. React on me. So
no, I react. It looked like you were gonna say something more. Like in this picture, you see and I was waiting for the end of the sentence.
So in this picture, we are at the dawn of the Ottoman state in the 1323, in the late Middle Ages, basically before the start of the Black Death in Europe, after the Mongol invasion, century after. But basically before the late Middle Ages, before Black Death, 100 East War, and everything what we have spoke about before, or talked about before in this. So here the history of the Ottoman state started. Then it continued. They expanded further. Maybe I will make it bigger. So they expanded further. It was in the but you don't see the. Is this size?
I see Constantinople green, and I don't see the. Yeah.
Fine or.
Yeah. I just can't read it.
Never mind. But you can see the green part.
I suppose what it says, but I see the green.
What's green is are the Ottomans. So this was the Ottoman in 1362, which is after the Black Death and and at the beginning of the 100 East War here. Then they continued. We got to Murad I. Then they expanded further. Then we got to Bayezid I, basically the Sultan who was captured by Timur the Great, which in nutshell was somebody like a little Genghis Khan.
Can you sorry, can you maybe move or maybe make yourself a little bit smaller, because I can see the year but not really comfortably. Like I see it's 1402, but just a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
Basically, okay. So this is the era of 1402. Then we continued to Mehmed I, basically the era of the civil war within the Ottoman state. They didn't expand too much. Then we got to Murad II, Mehmed's father, who achieved all of these victories, or maybe 50-50, two lost, two won. But he basically stabilized the empire after the civil war. Then came Mehmed II, which we have talked about at the beginning. Then so like that. So then we continue. Then we come to his successor, who kind of also earned his name, because except for in Europe, the Ottomans had also enemies in this part of the world. Okay, and his successor decided to, rather than expand to here, they rather decided to expand in the opposite direction. So when the successor came, he kind of also built his name, because look, it was the Sultan who captured Egypt
Oh.
for the Ottomans, and basically
Mm-hmm.
the city of Medina and Mecca.
Hmm. Well,
And
that's quite extensive.
yeah,
He
he
himself do it. He himself did it.
yeah
The
yeah
Selim the
he
Grim.
won these three battles, and this way he basically captured this whole territory. One battle, and you make it. This is the era of not that you fight land, you fight over each acre of land, but basically you won one battle and you won the whole war. Okay,
Yeah, that's
and
amazing. Like that was great success, right? Like
yeah.
out of nowhere, at least it seems on the map.
No, it wasn't out of nowhere. It was like the conclusion of the wars, which were going on a little bit a bit long time. But we just not focus on them too much yet. And after Selim the Grim came his successor, named Suleiman. And if you think that this is big, so you have not seen his conquer. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Suleiman, the Magnificent.
Still waiting. Oh wow! Good job.
Suleiman. Alias Alexander the Great.
Yes, because it's like almost the same, right? It looks like ping pong a little bit. It just
What?
different, like different epoch, different period of time, but it looks like what Alexander did. It basically more or less the same.
Not exactly, because Alexander had like he went from here to here, and then he came and went here like here. So Alexander like the a part of world like far further up to India.
Yeah, but
But
I mean, like the
basically
the
he
the
had
extent of
yeah.
it.
But if you would like comprise it into the or compress it into the land where Alexander ruled, so maybe it would be equal. But I don't want to make any I don't want to make any inaccuracies in this. I don't know, but it was the vast piece of empire. So he was called Suleiman the Magnificent, or also Suleiman the Lawmaker.
The lawmaker.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And here we continue. And after he captured Belgrade, so he kind of swerved into the whole Hungary, and finished the Ottoman-Hungarian War, which was fought since the 14th century, since the first crusade against the Ottomans, the so-called Crusade of Nicopolis. And which lasted from the so I said it. But he finished the war which fought Mehmed, his father, and he finished it in couple of years by the Battle of Mohacs. Maybe you have heard. Maybe you have.
What? Yes, I've heard about
Yeah,
it.
because the Czech mercenaries fought in the battle too.
That was quite significant for us, or maybe important, or
Be-
because even I remember, that must have been something that we were told.
little bit, yes. But basically, he won this battle, and he captured the most of Hungary. And then came a new challenge, because he defeated Hungary. Good job, but you got new territory. You extended your empire, which means two things: new enemies and new challenges. And this new enemy was particularly the Austria, or Holy Roman Empire, because now this whole territory was now under under the Sultan,
Okay.
which means that he now shares the border with new neighbors, which were kind of too excited from his presence there. And that later climax resulted that in the reason why exactly Suleiman decided to march on Vienna. And that's what we will talk today. That's what we will talk today.
That's amazing. I never knew that we actually like faced, or I mean Europe, faced this like threat of having them like in our vicinity or like close neighbors. In Vienna, it's just so close to us. It's basically Europe, and Europe could have been Arabic or whatever.
Yeah. It would be great. Yeah, basically yes. It will be content for alternative history, but
Yeah.
I'm not kind of sure whether I would predict the exact scenario. But so far we've got the background, except for the question how Ottomans got so far in and further in Europe. Do you have any other questions?
No, not so
No.
far. Not.
So we can continue. Okay. So basically, when Suleiman won the Battle of Mohacs in 1526, so he basically overthrew the Kingdom of Hungary and the King of Hungary, Louis II. He was at the time very unexperienced ruler. And when he captured Hungary, so he didn't occupy the whole Hungary, but he returned back to back to the border of back to Belgrade and to the borders of Wallachia, and he just had the one third of the Hungary. There are other parts were divided between two rulers, between whether I find the names. Between the Archduke Ferdinand of Austria, who ruled at the time to Austria, and John Zap and somebody called John Zapolia from the power base in Transylvania. And also, it's worth to mention that at this time there is the Holy Roman Empire here, and it's not Austria. It's not the same. Ferdinand I rules to Austria, but Holy Roman Empire, which is ruled somebody called Charles V, who also ruled to Kingdom of Spain, because there is a certain period when the Habsburg rules to Spain. And whether you remember from our episode about Reconquista, it was the first ruler of Spain who actually started to use the title King of Spain.
Yes, I know.
So he started to use it as the first one. So this is this guy who
did it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So exactly like that. So what actually happened that Suleiman started to march on Vienna. It didn't happen like that. He suddenly got the idea. It happened because of something. Because it started because of the Habsburg, because of the Ferdinand. Because Ferdinand got the idea that he wants to capture the Transylvanian part of the Hungary. So he took his army and occupied the city and occupied the southern eastern part, not southern eastern part. What if I found the name of the city? Just give me a brief second, please.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm not even offering help.
No. Wherever you could not make it. But he captured the city of Buda, which is somewhere like here in 1526 in Western Hungary. and it caused that John Zapolia had to flee from country. And what he did, because he wanted to recapture his realm back, he went to Sultan and asked him for help. And Suleiman said, "Okay, said, okay, I will help you, but you will have to recognize me as my as if to recognize yourself as my vessel. You will be under my government." And he said, "All right." So Suleiman took his army, and
Okay.
he went to Vienna to defeat the Ferdinand the First.
Just like that.
Yeah,
Let's go to Vienna.
yeah, exactly. So
Mm.
Suleiman took his army and captured the older land which Ferdinand had in Hungary.
Uh-huh.
He pronounced Zapolia a new ruler of Hungary, and then he continued further. He captured Mohacs again, Buda city. Then he marched. Then he moved along the Danube and Vienna to the capital of Austria.
Okay.
So
Nice.
like so there's
Simple.
yeah, exactly. But before we continue, I would like to do one more thing. You in a when we started to talk about this period, I actually established what was happening all of the Europe, elsewhere, to establish the context in which period
Yeah, sure. That was perfect.
we locate. So I will do it again. So, but in this period, in this time, the times a bit changed because if I found it goes because of the fact that the Ottomans captured Constantinople, and then they cut off the Europeans from all the access to China, which meant cut them off from all the trade. So they need to find a new way to Asia, and because of this, one certain guy named Columbus found that there is one more annex no, non-discovered
Undiscovered?
undiscovered piece of land.
Uncharted territory, right?
There will be also a great calling. So and so there's uncharted territory, and this way the European monarchies found out a new land when they can expand, and this way started the age of discovery. So which meant that the world was no longer just the tiny Europe as we talked before. Now it was the whole world. Are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So
waiting for the because there is a little bit of a delay, so I'm always like a little bit confused when you're switching between pictures because you say it's here and then I see it like after a few seconds.
Okay, understand. So now you see the map of the world. So now is the age of discovery. But one more thing to mention. Before we found out America, we already knew that the world is rounded. It's not a flat. Romans knew that the Greeks knew that. They knew that the world is far more bigger than they know. But they never knew that there is one more continent which they have not found yet. So like that. So is the age of discovery. The countries like Spain and Portugal now focus more on the external expansion. So they like the expand and establish the origins of something which would like to be called Spanish and Portuguese Empire. Two different empires. But there was one thing. There was so much uncharted territory that that these two empires were basically leading too many conflicts and wars over this new land. So they made
quite understandably, right? Because when you discover like uncharted territory, you want it to be yours, right?
Just like two things which when kids find one thing on playground, so they just try to yell, "No, it's mine, it's mine." No, and they try to say, "No, it's mine."
We're
So
basically always just kids, you know, trying to fight for I don't know, land or a little toy car.
exactly. So to prevent any other meaningless conflicts like
Meaningless. Yeah.
conflict like this, so they made something which is called like Treaty of Tordesillas, which is basically that Spain and Portugal divided the world between divided the world between them. This is your part and this is my part of the world. We will talk about this further once we will talk about the Age of Discovery and the Empire of and the Portuguese Empire and the Spanish Empire.
That
But
makes so much sense. So that's why in Brazil they speak Portuguese and the rest of South America they speak Spanish.
probably yes, I never been in South America.
Oh, that makes so much sense because the line is just right where Brazil is, right? So, okay, I finally understand it. I never knew why this is so like strange.
So like that,
Okay.
yes. So this is the origin. So this is what preoccupied the Spain and Portuguese while the while the Ottomans were fighting with the Austrians. So then we continue. What was happening in Germany? Have you ever heard Martin Luther?
Sure.
So in this period he started his Protestant reform when he nailed his 95 theses on the door of the castle church on the castle in Wittenberg. And basically by this act he started a faction named Protestants,
Okay.
who will later fight against the Catholics in the 30 Years War. And you can see in our structure that we are quite close.
I see.
Yeah, wait for the next presentation. It will start there. So this was happening in Germany and and meanwhile in Italy. Italy was kind of in something what is called Italian Wars, and it was the time when they were not a bit united. They were a little bit in disarray because the influence of France, because when they were not fighting with England, so they needed a new conflict, so they started to expand to France. So and when France expanded. The France wanted to expand to Italy, and when France wanted to expand to Italy, so Habsburgs they angry. So at this time, Charles V is in the conflict with France, and this all creates, and also because the King of Naples, which you can see in the map, it's part of Spain, or
Yeah.
Habsburgs or Austria, because this is the time when Spain is German, Austrian. Now you can see it here in this map.
Yeah.
So this is the era in Germany, and meanwhile in England is the time when Henry VIII was executing his wives
His
because
wife.
they didn't give him son, and also in the time when he decided to establish his own church, because he was in a marriage with somebody named Catherine of Aragon, and he wanted to divorce with her or her.
Divorce her.
You divorce her, but the Catholic Church said no, we will not dissolve this marriage. So he said, okay, so I will establish my own my own church, and I will divorce her on my own. And this is the origin of the Church of England.
Okay. I didn't even realize, or I wouldn't know that it happened at the same time. This Henry VIII, yeah, I know about him a bit, but interesting that it like was happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Division of church. Okay.
So before we move to Vienna, any questions?
No, everything's clear, I guess. So far, so good.
Neat. So we go. When sorry, today we don't have too much fancy map, but at least it will serve the purpose. It will serve the purpose. But if I should show you what Vienna looked at the time, So look. So this is Vienna today. Quite big. Quite big. Okay.
Visible from space.
Exactly.
Over here, yeah.
Not visible from space. Even the Great Chinese Wall is not, the Great Wall of China is not visible from space.
I know.
So this is the Vienna today. But in year 1529, the Vienna was just this little part.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this
Good.
is the circle.
Yeah.
B. Is it quite visible or?
Yeah, sure. I see it. Yeah, I think I can't imagine like
Maybe
what do
I
you mean?
could keep it like
I
this.
even think I really see it, you know, but
Yeah,
if
this
it's
is
not my
perfect.
imagination, I see it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's too just for imagination, for imagination how large Vienna was at the time. And when the Suleiman was on his way, so at the time there were 20,000 people, and the size of the army which defended the city was exactly right, was exactly this number, 20,000 people against coming 120 strong army, 120,000 strong army.
No, that's crazy.
Or even some sources say that Suleiman had even 300,000 soldiers. So maybe it was just like the something between 250,000, 200,000. But in a nutshell, it was a piece of big big army, big chunk of army. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when the Vienna or the defenders of Vienna knew that the Sultan is on his way, so just like you can compare it when the Germans were coming to Moscow or when the Russians were coming to Berlin. In nutshell, the defenders started to fortify the city, and they made some. They had very limited choices, not possibilities. They didn't have any profit equipment. They were just farmers, peasants, rednecks. They were not. It wasn't a trained.
The plebs, right?
Yeah, basically, because the Ferdinand escaped from the city.
Okay.
It's a quite average when troubles come. So the rulers
The ruler escapes, yeah.
run away and leave his people in the lurch.
Sure. He has to survive, right? There has to be someone who is gonna tell them what to do when they all die.
Yeah, exactly like that. So the defense of the city was at the time put under the shoulders of if I found under the shoulders of somebody called Nicholas Count of Salem, who was the veteran from the Italian wars, from the Battle of Pavia, which I believe is a very remarkable victory, and he was on the right side. But at this time he was in the age of 70.
Oh wow!
But it doesn't matter, because in Japanese history there were many samurais who were 80 and then still were riding on the horse and fighting with by sword. Katana and spears.
Yes, but this is not Japan. This is just a 70-year-old guy, you know.
But he's not fighting in the melee combat in the first row. He's just behind and giving orders like Napoleon. This is not Alexander. Okay, so so when the Ottomans came, so as I mentioned, they arrived with 100,000 or 300,000 men, but at this time they kind of didn't have the best. The all odds weren't in their favor, because it was in the late it was in the autumn, this campaign.
Yeah.
And kind of this time the weather was on their side because the spring rains hit them or struck them, and it made
Struck them
the
or
terrain struck them, and it made the terrain impassable. And you know that the Ottomans were famous for the usage of the heavy cannons. And
yeah.
because of this aspect, they and the bad weather and impassable routes, they had to leave some of their best or the heaviest guns and continue without them because they just couldn't transport them anymore. Also, the sickness and poor health struck them, like the spread among his men,
Yeah.
and they also brought camels from the eastern part of the empire. And maybe it sounds silly to brought camels to the mid to the
Little
east
bit to the Central Europe
some Eastern Europe,
in the
but
autumn.
yeah, but you need horsepower, or when you don't have enough horses, or just you need a horsepower, something like horse. You need something that would drag your cannons. So unfortunately, because of the weather, they lost many of them. Just like Hannibal lost the elephants in Alps, but it wasn't because of when
You know, I love this story, right?
but it was because of the fact that you are trying to cross the Alps with elephants.
Well, okay, so they needed like horsepower, something like
Yeah.
that.
But even though that they met many difficulties on their way, so they still had the 100,000 men who surrounded the Vienna on the September 27 from all sides. Like they set their camps around the whole city. And even though they lost some of their armory, they still had some, and they started to fire on the city from all sides to broke the moral of the defenders. And before the battle actually started, so Suleiman gave them a chance. If you surrender and we will not fight, we will spare your lives. And if you surrender and join and convert to Islam, we will spare your life. But if you will resist, we will kill them all and raise your city to the ground. And because and they decided to resist because they knew what the Ottomans were like. They caused many atrocities on their way to Vienna.
Yeah.
We will talk about it further. So the battle started.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So the battle started by the shelling, as I mentioned. But because the Ottomans had to give up many of their strongest pieces of artillery, so they figured out that this light or medium artillery will not breach the city walls. Because what was Suleiman's target? He broke through the city walls. Once you make a gap, you can swerve into and with his army and capture the city. That's your target. As when if you ever besiege a city, so it will be your main objective. Of course, in
Okay. I will keep it in mind.
Of course, in Might and Magic, of course. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's your main objective, and that was the objective of Suleiman. So when he figured out that the artillery doesn't work just like it worked for Mehmet at Constantinople. So just to remind one more thing, Suleiman captured Belgrade, so he already had some experience and reputation. So he kind of knew what he's doing. Just like Mehmet had a reputation when he captured Constantinople and tried to besiege Belgrade. Belgrade. So when Suleiman figured out that the cannons don't work, so they resorted or decided for decided for another tactic, and it was dig the tunnels under the if you have like here you have a city wall, so they made a strategy to dig a tunnel under the city walls and at the foundations of the walls. Put there a bomb and let it to explode, and it would like the destroy the foundations of the walls, which would cause their collapse. It would create a gap, and it was what Suleiman wanted. Okay,
So he
and
expected that. He was he was
yeah,
ready.
no, it was the usual tactic to to undermine the foundations of the walls, like to make the tunnels, put their bomb and blow it off, and make a gap this way. It was the usual siege tactic of siege warfare since the medieval times, and also this tactic transferred to the age of the First World War, when basically the soldiers were trying to dig the tunnels under the trenches of the enemy army, put there the bombs and blow it off and kill them this way, because the trenches were like a fortress in some parts. Maybe this for example this is in the whether you know
But like
the
trenches were like fortress, you know.
yeah, a little bit like
They're trenches.
because they were so they built them so elaborately that basically it wasn't possible to get them out by usual artillery on surface. For example, about this example is, for example, in the TV show Peaky Blinders, where the main character played by Cillian Murphy has this backstory that he served in the First World War, and he was doing this job.
Okay.
This digger of tunnels. But never mind. So the Mehmet Suleiman tried this tactic. But what the Christians did, they started to dig their tunnels too, and in a chance to find the Ottomans digging, and try to stop them before they reach the walls and plant the bomb there. And in many cases they were successful. It was like the close combat with swords.
Okay.
So in many cases they were successful, but in one case they weren't, and exactly in this part of the walls, they blow one of the bombs off, and they created a gap. Maybe if I a little bit make it cleaner. So they created a gap in the redoubts of the city, and it was exactly what Suleiman wanted. So once he saw it, so he took all his cavalry and sent them right in the gap, because time was your enemy, because you have to swerve into the fortress as soon as possible before the defenders plug or fill the gap by soldiers. So they immediately like to swerve the army there, but the Christians deployed their Austrian units, which were the pikesmen, and they made to create a pike wall, like the wall from pikes, and they made to stop them. So they fought them off. So the Ottomans didn't broke into the city, so they stopped them, fortunately. But it was just a matter of time before they could try it again, and before they could actually broke into. It was just the most vulnerable part of the defense right now. And after this attack, the rain got worse, and there were heavy rains, and it was also dwarfed other Ottoman attempts to breach into the city. And after this another failed attempt or failed attack, on October 12th, Suleiman held a council and they decided for one more attack, because as the defenders were in terrible shape, the Ottomans were also in terrible shape. There was a disease of plague. They had lack of supplies. The insufficient weather. The supplying was unreliable. The soldiers had a low moral, and they started to think about to break the siege, and it was very terrible for Ottomans too. So Suleiman decided for one thing: one more attack, all in. Either we make it or we will die.
Make it or break it. Yeah.
Exactly. So on October 14, they did just the thing. They started with shelling as before, and they just swerved into the city from all sides. They went, and either we break or we will die.
That's so scary.
Yeah, and it ended up in a scenario that they didn't get in.
Oh, they didn't
No,
get
they
in.
didn't. They didn't get it. They didn't.
Okay.
The 20,000 managed to successfully defend the city against 120,000 soldiers. And also after this attack, one more thing happened.
Yeah.
The winter came. Something what didn't came to Game of Thrones. But winter came. The first snowflakes started to drop on the city, and then snowfall or
Snowfall. Yeah, maybe.
snowstorm hit them,
Snowstorm. Okay.
and try to imagine the army from Orient, which were usually
Which we're used to something completely different.
used to the summer weather and
Yeah.
and the high temperatures. Were
Yeah.
not suddenly in environment when you had the weather in 2 degrees under zero. So it was far more worse for the Ottomans. So Suleiman had to accept it and said, "Okay, boys, we go home." So they went home on the late October. Before they left, they killed all the prisoners of war, which who they didn't he they who they couldn't take along, which was it was about 2,000 people, and they applied the strategy the scorched earth policy, which means wherever they came and whatever they from that everything that they left, or every time they basically burned the whole place before they left, to be sure that the enemy gets nothing from the land which they left. So just like so they were burning the land basically. But
Yeah.
yes,
That
you have questions?
no. It's just that's crazy, you know. When I imagine like being there, when I really imagine there were people living in Vienna, you know, and also these like guys unsuccessfully coming back in winter that they're not used to being in those conditions. It's just
Yeah, I understand. But basically, it was like this, and but the Austrians or defenders didn't give up, and when they saw that the Ottomans retreat, so they decided to chase them up, and caught them up. But in a way that just like they were raiding them, like the Russians were bothering the Napoleon's army when he was retreating from Russia, because this is kind of very similar to Russians retreat to Napoleon's retreat from Russia, because it was very similar. If you can see it, or you can or
I see the map.
yeah, but like this, like the similarity between Napoleon's retreat from Russia and this situation.
Ah, you mean like if I see the yeah? Okay,
No.
I thought you were gonna show something. No. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, sure.
never
I
mind. So
can.
it was kind of very similar, and on these raids, the Austrians made to kill around 200 Ottomans, including they made to set free many of those prisoners the Ottomans captured, and and it was in the late October. In November, the Ottomans reached Belgrade, and in December 16, they were already back in Constantinople. But they didn't.
Quite fast, right?
Yeah, but they didn't make to capture the Vienna. And if I should somehow summarize the battle, so the Ottomans lost about 16,000 people. So from the origin,
How
from the
many you said?
16,000. So
16.
and the city of Vienna lost about 500 people. Okay?
What?
Yeah, because they were hid behind the city wall. So
Yeah, sure, but
in this
still 500 out of
yeah
20,000.
yeah, in this case the city was their weapon, just like city was Huniari's weapon in siege of Belgrade. So if I should return back to the map of Suleiman's conquest, so he didn't make to capture Vienna, but he wanted to try it again. He had this intention to return back, but he always was like distracted because of the war with the Habsburgs or because of the other things, and so on, so on. And basically, this started the main tension between the Habsburgs and the Ottomans, and it also a little bit woke up the Austrians that their city is very vulnerable. So they started to build better defense. And if you have ever seen the siege, the walls of Vienna, like in the shape of the sunlight, like in the sun rays, like in the shape of arrows, if you have ever seen it.
I don't think so.
Uh, defensive walls. Maybe I will find it. Maybe like this, like this.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it or not?
I'm waiting because of the delay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting to see the picture.
You already see it? No.
There's been a delay today. I told you there's been a delay, so I was just trying to keep up. Yeah, now I see it.
Okay, okay. It's too much. Okay. Okay, so they started to build a bit better defense of the city, but the Austrians knew that the Ottomans will return. And as I said, Suleiman was going to do it, but he actually never returned again. He wanted to do it in the year 1532, but because of the war with Habsburgs, he couldn't. And in a year later, 1533, the Habsburgs and Ottomans made a peace treaty, the Treaty of Constantinople, because they wanted to move on in their wars and just like to focus on other things. But unfortunately, the peace didn't last too long, and soon they were in the war again, and basically the whole war ended up in a way that Suleiman died on nature causes in year 1566. And when he died, so the information about his death was kept in secret over 48 days before they disclosed that Suleiman the Magnificent is dead.
Okay.
And after that came his successor, who I don't know who is it. Give me a second. Suleiman the Magnificent. His successor was Selim II.
Okay.
Okay.
Why did they keep it a secret that he died?
Because then the Europe would celebrate, because the great conqueror who captured the Belgrade, who got up to Vienna and captured all this land in the Middle East, and in Africa, and Mecca and Medina is suddenly dead. Like when Alexander the Great or Caesar died, he is the power of the conquering.
Okay.
So because of that, so like that, yeah. And next time, but it's not over, because as you can see in our structure, so today we were here, but the Ottomans eventually returned in 1683. Do you see it already?
No, not yet. Yeah, now.
Yeah. So the Ottomans will return in 1683, and there is a reason why this is the most favorite battle in history.
Okay.
And I will tell you
Sounds
why.
promising.
Yeah. I will tell you why. And to the one more promising, in this battle will be also not only the Austrians but also the Poles, the kingdom of Poland, the kingdom of Poland. And it will be very epic history. Very epic history. I can say that from this battle, the Tolkien inspired for his Rite of Rohin battle in Lord of the Rings.
Uh-huh. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You'll
yeah.
see next time. You'll see next time. And also with this is related to the topic under it, the Great Turkish War, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about it next time about this. And
Okay.
basically, it will be the end of our saga about the Ottoman history.
That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And
Perfect. Something that inspired Tolkien.
yeah, yeah. And
Like that's
one more thing
big.
before we end for today. This is just like the whole structure of the history of the Ottoman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it already?
No. Yes, now.
Okay. So right now we were Suleiman, we were here.
Hmm.
And next time we will be here. Okay.
Yes, I'm trying to find. Yeah, there is the Siege of Belgrade. Okay, yeah, I see.
Okay. So
Yeah.
bye. We'll talk next time. So
Perfect.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, I will for sure.
All right. All right. So if you don't have any other questions, kind of you are over time. So
So see you next time.
yeah.
You mean?
If you want to continue.
No, I can't, unfortunately. That's the
Okay.
point.
Okay. But you don't have any questions.
No, I don't have any
Okay.
questions. It was, as usual, great. I would just repeat myself.
It was or
It was great, definitely.
okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
So thank you very much
Never
for
mind.
the
Never mind.
explanation.
You're welcome. So again, text me when you will free, and I will prepare the last part of the story. And probably after this, we would. Would you welcome to talk about the history of Russia a bit?
Sure, why not? Could be even more interesting.
The history of Romanovs, the ruling house in history of Russia. I don't mean the modern history. I mean the old medieval history.
Well,
Okay?
yeah, I know nothing about it, so I don't
Me
know
neither.
if
And
I'm
therefore,
interested, but
me
probably
neither.
yeah.
Not like about the guys like Peter the Great and so on, so on. All right?
Okay, okay.
Okay. So see you next time. And now go.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye. And I know you still hear me. So who came to this? Who came today? So thank you very much, and see you next time. Have a good night and goodbye.